So far-right politicians are being completely and utterly dishonest and disingenuous while talking about this issue of student loan debt reduction. They all settled on a talking point that they think is going to work, and they're hammering it home. This is the kind of discipline that we usually see from Republican politicians. But honestly, it's falling flat. It's not working because it flies directly in the face of people's personal experience. And so they know something's off about it. And maybe people who don't even have student loan debt are like, I don't know, that argument smells like bullshit. So first, let's start here with Ted Cruz. Here's his commentary on the student loan debt reduction from Biden.
That there is a real risk if you are that slacker barista who wasted 7 years in college studying completely useless things, now has loans and can't get a job.
So look at how he frames the people who are getting helped here. They're just slacker baristas. That's what they are. They're just slacker baristas. Now, by the way, there are plenty of hardworking baristas out there. So he's shitting on baristas. But also this idea that, like, what, everybody who's getting help is that person? 90% of the help here goes to people who make $75,000 a year or less. 90% of the help. This is targeting the working class directly. To somebody like Ted Cruz, the working class is just like a white guy in a hard hat in Michigan, and that's it. Whereas my conception of the working class and the actual working class is that white guy in a hard hat in Michigan and the barista and the person who works at Amazon and the person who's working any job, minimum wage job, etc. And so it shows you what he really thinks about the working class. He looks down on them. He is the elitist that he pretends to hate.
Joe Biden just gave you 20 grand. Like, holy cow, 20 grand. That, maybe you weren't going to vote in November and suddenly you just got 20 grand. And, if you can, get off the bong for a minute and head down to the voting station, or just send in your mail-in ballot that the Democrats have helpfully sent you, it could drive up turnout, particularly among young people. That there is a real risk.
So these people are slackers. They're drug addicts. They don't work real jobs. This is what Ted Cruz thinks about the people who just got help. This is 43 million working class Americans who just got help. And again, look at how he's talking about these people. Okay, I got more for you. There's a whole parade of idiots here. So in comes Governor Ron DeSantis, and here's what he has to say.
It's very unfair, to have a truck driver have to pay back a loan from somebody that got like a PhD in gender studies. That's not fair. That's not right.
Serious question. What percentage of the people getting student loan debt reduction got a degree in gender studies, do you think? I'm going to go 0.001%. Here's another question. What percentage of the people who got student loan debt reduction are now truck drivers? I'm going to go higher than the gender studies number. I'm probably going to go 2%. Something like that. 1%, 2%, in that ballpark. So, in other words, this is helping the truck driver who maybe went to school for 2 years and then for whatever reasons that popped up in their life, they said, I can't do this anymore. I got to take a job. I got to make money now. And they went to go be a truck driver. So look at the framing. The framing is the real working class is going to be hosed here, and it's going to go to, the liberal elites who study things like gender studies. That is total horseshit. Again, 90% of the support for this goes to people who make $75,000 a year or less. This is virtually all working class people. By the way, I would have went further. I would have just eliminated all student debt. Why? Because I think as a matter of principle, there shouldn't be such a thing as student loan debt in the same way there shouldn't be such a thing as medical debt. Because in a civilized society that has the resources, of course we should prioritize certain things and take them off the table to give people a fair shot in what is supposed to be, in theory, some semblance of a meritocracy. But no, look at how he talks about this.
And so, and then you also just have the fact, like, if you're going to talk about debt, then you should look at, okay, who has benefited the most from all this exorbitant debt that's been taken out over the last generation? It's the universities.
So we should nationalize them, right, Ron? So we should do free college. In other words, we should treat college the same way that we treat public high school in this country and public middle school in this country, right? to have the government, whether it's at the local level, whether it's at the state level, or if it's at the federal level, to have the government take it over completely. Get rid of the profit motive. So get it out of the marketplace. So end the neoliberal angle to this and just make it a public good. That's the solution to what you're saying. Oh my God, these universities are a business and they're ripping people off. Totally agree. Let's nationalize it. Oh, you don't want to do that. Oh, that's right. You don't want to do that at all. So this is just a bullshit argument that you're making when you don't even agree with the logical conclusion of the point you just said.
They have bloated administrative budgets. They have all this, although in Florida, since I've been governor, no tuition increases at our state universities. We haven't allowed.
Dude, stop doing the hand motions. For the love of God, you are not Donald Trump. I know you're trying desperately to be Donald Trump. You're not Donald Trump. And everybody sees through your little tap dance, your little act.
Because all it.
So wait, I like that. So it's good when the tuition doesn't increase, but it's bad when you give people a little bit of debt reduction. Explain that one to me. Why is one good but the other bad? So you're helping people a little bit by not having the tuition increase, but Biden helped people even more than that by getting rid of some of their debt, and somehow that's bad, but what you did is good? Well, if you just said these institutions are ripping people off, then why not go all the way? Why not eliminate all the debt, and why not nationalize it?
All it does is they plow it in, and they will expand like the DEI office or something else like that, and it has no real impact on the quality of the education. It's very unfair.
There you go. So that's Ron DeSantis, another disingenuous argument. And then we have the dumbest version of this argument by one of our dumbest congresspeople. Here we have Laurenbert.
How the heck can Joe Biden call America First conservatives a threat to democracy with a straight face and a dry diaper? He's the one who has allowed millions to invade our southern border. He's the one.
Joe Biden kept in place a lot of the exact same border policies Donald Trump had in place. Title 42, remain in Mexico. In fact, Biden was breaking deportation records. He was breaking records. It was just announced the other day he's going to finish some of the holes in Trump's border wall. These are all things that Laurenbert on paper supports. But since a Democrat is doing it, she either doesn't know about it or doesn't care because she's going to attack him anyway because the ruthless partisanship and tribalism overrides the objective reality. She just doesn't know anything. Or she knows and she's just a liar. It's one or the other. There's no other way around that.
Who is robbing hardworking Americans to pay for Karen's daughter's degree in lesbian dance theory.
Robbing hardworking Americans to pay for Karen's daughter's degree in lesbian dance theory. I mean, this is just all pure fiction. This is pure fiction. You know who this is helping, Lauren? The working class. That's who it's helping. That's who it's helping. It's helping the working class. It's helping the same people that you're virtue signaling like you support right now. But when there's some actual material support that goes to them, all of a sudden you take a couple steps back and you pump the brakes and you say, oh, are you guys all studying like lesbian dance theory? These guys are just hacks, guys. Now, by the way, everything I've said to this point is a fact. I'm not giving my opinion. So here, I'll buttress that point. New York Times, Biden student loan plan squarely targets the middle class. President Biden is offering what independent analysts suggest would be his most targeted assistance to middle-class workers, most targeted assistance yet to middle-class workers, while trying to repair what he casts as a broken bridge to the middle class. So I'll just give you a little more on this here because I have some numbers. The big winners from President Biden's plan to forgive hundreds of billions of dollars in student loans are not rich graduates at Harvard and Yale, as many critics claim. In fact, the benefits of Mr. Biden's proposals will largely go to the middle class. According to independent analyses, the people eligible for debt relief are disproportionately young and black, and they are concentrated in the middle band of Americans by income, defined as households earning between $51,000 a year and $82,000 a year. The Education Department estimates that nearly 90% of affected borrowers earn $75,000 a year or less. Ivy League graduates make up less than 1% of federal student borrowers nationwide. So, again, it's a fact to say this empirically, objectively helps the working class, the same one that these people are virtue signaling and pretending to support. And again, I'll give you one more fact on this here. This is one you've heard me reference a number of times, but I will continue to reference it. This is an Emerson poll that just came out. Do you think that forgiving $10,000 of student loan debt for borrowers making under $125,000 per year is too much, not enough, or just about the right amount of action? 36% say it's too much. 30% say not enough, and 35% say just right. So in other words, a total of 65% support this or would go further. And this is why you're seeing Joe Biden's numbers go up in real time. In real time. So listen, bottom line is the Republicans are overreaching here, and they're making fools of themselves because this argument is not going to land. It's intuitively ridiculous to the person who is the truck driver who just got student loan debt reduction. And you're going to say that, you're making them pay for it to give it to a gender studies person. No, it's nonsense. It's utter nonsense. They got too confident, they got too cocky, and the Republicans are overreaching. It's the same thing that we saw with Rick Scott when he released his policy proposal for Republicans in the midterms, where he was, one of his planks in his policy proposal was everybody's got to have skin in the game. We need to raise taxes on people who don't pay any federal income tax right now. Well, that's the bottom 50% of the country. And they don't pay federal income tax because they can't afford to pay federal income tax because they're broke. So their plan was let's raise taxes on working class people and on poor people. That was their plan. They want to effectively eliminate Social Security and Medicare, and they want to make the government vote on it every 5 years to re-up it, which of course they wouldn't do. So they got cocky and they're overreaching, and this stuff is not landing. It is a fact that it's not landing. Because for the first time in a very, very long time, you have just a little bit of material support that the government is giving to the working class. And you know what? Like I always tell you, it's always been my theory of politics. When you materially deliver for people, they will materially deliver for you. It's why Joe Biden's highest approval rating was when he cut $1,400 checks. People said, oh shit, I just got a check for $1,400 from Biden. Biden is based. I like him. 54% approval rating. So now what are we seeing? Biden bottomed out at 33%. Now he's up to 45% approval rating, and we even saw one poll that had him at 47%. And it's only going to go up more and more. If he keeps doing stuff like this, it's only going to go up more and more. So go ahead. Overreach. Make an ass of yourself. I'm certainly enjoying it. I'm enjoying watching them self-destruct, but I'm also enjoying them unmasking themselves as deep and committed liars. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.